Hi, this is Hector Gil, and I'm the percussion director at Vista Ridge High School, and I also teach at Henry Middle School in Leander ISD.
Welcome to Sketchbook Podcast, a discussion about creativity, preparation, and effort with artists, creators, and educators. I'm your host, Daniel Montoya Jr., and today we are fortunate to have what I consider one of the two best dressed band directors in the game. Hector, are you familiar with Dan Morrison, Hector?
I do, yeah.
Have you ever been in the same room at the same time when your game was on 10 with your fashion?
I don't know him very well, so it's very possible that I'm sure we probably have been in the same room multiple times.
Sure,
I could not be able to kind of point him out.
He's white. He's got Eric Whitacre-like flowing blonde hair.
So I hear.
Yeah. And both of y'all you're always well dressed, and I've never not said that. Like, it's crazy. And today you are once again fashioning for us a nice button down, some nice pants. Good for you. You don't look like a normal percussion teacher. And yes, that is hate for most percussion teachers out there.
Sure, it sounds like it. Yeah, and I like that.
They wear their cargo pants, their long sleeve shirt. Mm-hmm. They carry their drum key in one pocket. And
their cap, their orange cap. Just kidding.
Their orange cap tilted to the side. Jeez, have some respect.
Sure.
Golly.
Yeah.
Now, Hector, David Reyes.
Yes.
You and him are cousins?
We are cousins.
You are cousins. Y'all from like the same area, same part of the state?
We are. We're both from Laredo, Texas.
Laredo, Texas. Now, Laredo's not the Valley.
No, it kind of depends on who you ask, right?
You're a Laredoan.
I am, yes, I am a Laredoan.
Set it straight.
So anybody from Laredo will fight you on that.
Probably literally.
Really, seriously. No, Laredo's not part of the Valley. Now, if you ask anybody, I think kind of north of Laredo or San Antonio north, then yes, they will categorize that into the Valley.
So anything south of San Antonio to other people is considered the Valley?
Correct. That's what I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Now, who's older, you or Dave?
Oh, I'm older.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Come on. If anyone's ever seen the both of you right next to each other, they would never say that you are older than
You
Dave.
think so? Wow.
He's got he's a silverback gorilla now.
Yeah.
How much older are you than he is?
I'm about 4. Let's see. He was born in May. I was born in April. So I guess 4 years.
4 years. Wow. I would have guessed that he's 14 years older.
Wow.
Now, who's taller, you or Dave?
Last time I checked, I think I am.
I'm pretty sure you are too. Is anybody shorter than Dave? That's not like a 12-year-old boy.
No, in the family, no. And usually, like the newborns are immediately taller than him. That's kind of how it's been. We've wondered that forever.
When did he stop growing? Fifth grade, maybe.
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been a while. He's going to be wearing some lifts at the wedding, or what? I mean, I don't, because Amanda's going to be even taller, probably wearing heels of some sort.
Yeah. He needs to get some stilts or something.
Yeah, get the Tom Cruise thing going on there, right?
Yes.
Now, on your Facebook, I see that you like Sketchbook Podcast.
I do.
Thank you very much. You also like Van Dorn music.
I do.
And MJM Works.
I do. Yeah.
You don't like
awkward.
You don't like me on Facebook?
I do like you on Facebook.
I don't have a professional page.
I was going to say, do you have?
No, I don't.
Do you have one?
I just thought it'd be fun to, I used to, but it's too much time to keep up. I've got so many things going on in this world. So.
You're a busy guy.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Now, I would like to talk about La Fitness, or rather Gold's Gym.
Okay.
You don't do Beachbody, Hector, or what?
I don't do Beachbody.
No. So what were you doing today? What was the day?
Okay, so today I used to go to LA. That's kind of a long story. We can kind of talk about it.
We got a lot of tape.
Bit. Yeah, we do. So I was at LA, for starters, I just started kind of seriously working out this year.
Okay.
Like the beginning of the calendar year.
January. All right.
Yeah. And so started going to LA. Had a trainer there, then my trainer left. And so then I was kind of in a position where I was like, well, should I just stay there and keep, so I tried the trainer that they had and did not like it at all. So ended up switching to Gold's. So I'm no longer at La Fitness.
I saw that. You're at the Gold Gym. Did you just start there?
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And why did you decide to go? Was it a weight thing? Was it a pants thing? Was it you want to get swole or what?
So I guess I've always kind of hovered around the same weight for, I don't know, like last 20 years, I think, ish, you know?
You.
Yeah. And, and so over winter break, I got on the scale just to kind of see where we're at.
As one does, yes.
Yeah. And I was about 10 pounds heavier. And so then compared to what I normally am. Yeah. And so I was like, man, this is not good. So I need to do something.
Yeah.
You know? So I decided, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this for real. So I go 4 to 5 times a week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
At least I have been for the last, 2.5 months or whatever.
And as you mentioned, you don't like to brag like people do on Facebook, but then one day at TMEA, you're like, guess what, everybody? I'm styling. Slimmer Hector's coming at you.
Every now and then I like to do, post a little picture or something.
Yes. You do like to post pictures. We'll talk about some of those pictures.
I do, but I like to post pictures of my family, I love posting pictures about my girls or my wife, stuff like that. I try not to do like just straight up selfies, but
you could. If you don't post that you went to the gym, how are people going to know?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, there's no validation there.
No, it's this day and age. How's your Beto candle doing these days?
Oh, dude.
Is next to Biden now or what?
Well, he's next to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Okay, that's solid. Is this the Vista Ridge Band Hall?
No, it used to be in the office. Yes. It's in the house.
Okay.
I believe he's in Michaela's room right now.
Okay.
Collecting dust. Oh, and kind of see what happens. But you know what? We might have to dust it off.
We'll
that's
see. Right. He made a big endorsement last night.
Did.
That's right. It's Tuesday, Super Tuesday, as a matter of fact. And you just said you stood in line for 2 hours to vote.
I did. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was over at one of the schools in Round Rock ISD. I guess I could say.
You can say McNeil.
No, I'm McNeil.
That's okay.
So
Jason listens. He'll probably go, "Oh, hey, thanks for stopping by to my new band hall or whatever." So they won't shut up about that thing. Right. Jeez, Mike Champagne, we get it. You got a new office. All right.
I know. Well, I don't blame them. They've been waiting for 17 years.
Yeah, they found caves or something underneath. You know how Austin is, man. It's like, there's a salamander. So I early voted last week, so I avoided. I think it took me all of 12 minutes to get in and out. So
wow.
But I don't have a real life, a real job.
Sure. Like neither do I. My wife claims that I don't really do anything. I kind of just like a hobby that I kind of get paid for a little bit.
Yeah, kind of, right. So speaking of your hobby, you've played at PAS how many times?
Like me personally,
as an educator. So you've brought an ensemble.
Okay. 2 times.
2 times. Both of them with Vista Ridge, correct?
No, one with Henry Middle School.
Oh, okay.
In 2014, and then one with Vista Ridge in 2018.
2018, and both were indie, right?
Correct.
Oh, that's fun. How many times have you taped? I'm curious because I'm not trying to be like, hey, say all the times you've lost. Also.
Sure.
But, people,
sure.
I think there's this misconception that anytime a Leander school applies somewhere, they always get it.
Automatically.
And if that's the case, cool. But if not, it might be nice for some people to go like, Hector failed once.
Yeah. Oh my God, that list is ongoing.
That's the thing, right? You don't put that on the bio.
No. We taped one time for a hand. Well, I guess I don't know, 2 or 3 times in that semester, right? But as far as submitting kind of just that one, time to be able to be selected for PASIC would be that one time for Henry. And then we, I guess back in 2012, I think we submitted for Vista. We did not get in for that.
Was that the Austin?
I don't remember. Yeah, I guess it would have been for Austin.
That's when everybody in the state was like going for that one.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly who actually made it in, but
I don't remember either.
But yeah, so we taped in, for that year. We did not get it, and then the only other time was in 2018 when we did get in.
So okay, so you're batting 66.6%. Good for you. Good for you. All right, that's solid. So everyone out there, Hector's not perfect. We've established this already.
Definitely, for sure.
So Henry Middle School is the primary feeder for Vista Ridge, correct?
Is,
and
yes.
They've won Honor Band 3 times, right?
3 times.
And you've done a piece for the concert, like just percussion each time, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the difference, you think, putting that piece together for that crowd at TMEA versus putting it together for PAS or maybe for a piece for Midwest with Henry Middle School?
Sure. The difference is most of it, I don't have to deal with all the, I just have to teach it, you know, and then kind of Robert is kind of the one that does all the planning and, you know, he takes care of the housing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Travel and all that. But that's the biggest difference for sure. Whenever I did, you know, the 2 PASIC times for, with Henry and with Vista, then like I pretty much, you know, did all that. Robert helped out a lot with both times that we went, you know, and Brian helped out a lot with that too. Brian drove the truck to Basic.
That's right. I remember reading about that on the Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when did you drive the truck? Because I remember running into you in Chicago. It was really late one night, and you had just parked the truck on the side of the road or something.
That was when we went to Midwest. That was the first time that Henry Middle School went to Midwest, which I guess it would have been 2010, I guess.
Oh my God, was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy
smokes.
smokes.
So Kyle Rushop and I.
That's right.
Drove
it up there. Yeah.
Dude, that was a blast. That was so much fun. Yeah.
It was a younger man's game, younger man's time.
It was.
10 years ago. Would you do that again?
No, of course not.
Sorry, Zach, you're driving the truck.
Yeah, we fly everywhere now for sure. I put in my time.
Exactly. Sorry, Zach or Kat, right? They're the youngins. They're driving.
Young bucks, yes.
So Vista's played at Midwest, right? One time so far?
One time.
And as a band, right? And then Henry's played 3 times now, or?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think 2010 full band, and then 2012 that would have been the trombone ensemble.
That's right.
And then again in 2016. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's been just 3 times. Gotcha. 2 with the band, 1 with a chamber ensemble.
Yeah, geez. And then on those concerts, did you do a percussion only piece with Vista as well, or not? I can't remember.
We didn't do a percussion only piece with Vista. Only because we kind of felt, you know what, like we can probably pick a band piece that probably can feature, you know, the percussion section at the level that we would like for them to get featured at. Yeah. I don't remember now off the top of my head what piece that was for Vista, but for Henry, yes, we did percussion ensembles.
You've just played at so many conferences. I forgot, I didn't mention WIBIC on here. Or
sure.
God, your bio, I just go through the whole thing. It's just, oh, geez.
Oh my God.
Now, Hector, are you a fan of the professional sports?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Here we go.
I'm not really a fan of professional.
Wait.
I'm honestly not a fan of like really any sport.
What?
Yeah.
This is crazy. Every Mexican Cowboy fan is going crazy right now because you should be on their team right now.
I don't think so. No, I think they kind of know. I think they kind of know me better. You know,
So you're not a Cowboys. You're not an anything fan.
No.
Do you pay attention to the Vista Ridge football games?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if my principals listen to this, then yes, of course.
You support the team 100%.
Yeah. Always.
You just don't care about sports. Wow.
Well, you know, so Dave and I actually used to be in the Dallas Mavericks Drumline.
That is correct. Did he play a flub, or what did he play back then? Was he the mascot?
I thought, finger cymbals.
Yeah, but they look like normal size cymbals. Right. Yes.
but to him, they're
yes, of
massive.
Course. Yeah. So the Dallas Mavs Drumline. What did they call it? The Thunder of Dallas or something?
No, it was just straight up just the Dallas Mavericks Drumline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you play match grip or traditional grip?
We play traditional grip.
That's the way it should be. Yeah, that's right. We'll get to that in a second.
We will, I'm sure.
Okay, but that's the closest to supporting sports that you. Oh,
you know what's funny is that the all the dudes on that Dallas Mavericks Drumline, and it's still like this. Like it's all dudes like that have all kind of either March Drum Corps or Todd Drum Corps or whatever, just have been in the activity, and so whenever we would actually like play. You know, like we were into it, and and then as soon as like, all right, our time is done, like we would just bust out the pads and like really wouldn't even pay attention to the game. You know, I'm sure that's probably changed now, or maybe not.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Was Ben Moore in that drumline?
And he was not. He came in after that.
Oh, okay, all right. You were like OG Mavs drumline?
No, not at all. In fact, I wasn't even like, and neither was Dave. I wasn't even like a full timer. I just did like part time stuff whenever. Like if they needed a sub or something, that I would kind of go. I'd be like the dude or one of the dudes.
Right. And was Dave full time?
No.
Oh, y'all were just ringers?
I guess I don't think so, man. I mean, he might have been. He spent more time in the Dallas-Fort Worth area than I did.
Was this after his illustrious career in Japan?
Oh man, let's see. When did he go to Japan? No, it would have been before.
Oh, okay.
But then again, I think he went to Japan three times.
Yeah, he did multiple stints. Right?
So it's possible, that he could have been kind of in between.
Well, I can imagine he liked going over there because he was a giant going over there as opposed to here.
I guess so.
Where he's not. I will be sure to check my tires tomorrow after this drops to make sure no one's coming to anything. So Vista Ridge, state marching band champion in 2018, correct? Yeah. So Vista's always been good. I've been here in the Austin area for quite some time. They've played at Midwest. They've always kind of gone to state marching contests, whether 5A or 6A. But something clicked in 2018. And you have been there. I mean, you and Brian have pretty much been there consistently for the longest, right? Because Kyle was there, Amy was there. So yes, we know Zach and Reed got there. Was it as simple as two pieces and the ingredients were missing and you put them together and everything exploded? Or as a observer and as a part of the program, what happened in 2018?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question, man. If I had a nickel for every time I've been asked that question, I think yes. I think there's a lot of kind of factors that went into that. Ultimately, I think we've always had incredible teachers, incredible educators, and students, and parents, and community, and district, and so on and so forth. It was just something about bringing on Reed, bringing on Zach, that was just like, parts of the puzzle that just, weren't totally in sync until, and again, it wasn't anybody else that we had on staff prior.
Yeah.
It's because we've had some phenomenal teachers. And of course, not to mention that the show itself was pretty killer.
It was.
And
it was
I
great.
think, I think we kind of struck out, in all sorts of, in all ways. But yeah, I definitely think that the chemistry between all of us with the students and parents and community, I think just kind of all kind of clicked and worked.
Right. Because in similar ways, Vista was like Marcus was before Amanda Drinkwater got there, where the percussion program was probably more nationally known on a bigger stage than the band. The band would do fine. They'd make BOAs. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. And then Amanda got there and then just kind of blew up. 10 straight years of dominance. And so it seems like all of a sudden Vista's like, holy crap. And you could kind of see the trajectory. And I don't know, I'm curious, you being there, like when you had BOA Austin and things started clicking, did at any point did it go from, I think we're going to make finals, to, oh my God, like we might win this thing?
Yes and no. And that wasn't until the very end. That wasn't until, because even leading into the season, even starting out, we knew it was going to be fun. And we knew that it was going to be a different Vista, whether that meant we would have scored higher or lower or whatever the case can be, whatever. But we knew it was just a special kind of vibe, from the very beginning. And we knew the product was really good. And we had to do a lot of, kind of in-house stuff too. Sure. As most programs have to do.
That's the way it goes, yeah.
But it wasn't until, I guess, we got to I guess when we did BOA Austin, and then I think, if I remember correctly, I believe we won visual at BOA Austin in prelims, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's never happened before.
Right, yeah.
And especially because I think the program has always been known as kind of a better like playing band than a marching band or a visual band.
Yeah.
And so that was just kind of a shock. And so it was like, whoa, okay. So if we can continue this, and then continue to play as well as we hopefully can, then this could be really, really cool. So when we got to, I guess, San Antonio BOA, did the prelims and finals and so on and so forth, and came out, and it was just like, dude, what's going on? And then of course state prelims, and I still remember being in that room, and the sheets came out, and and we looked at it, and we were sitting second.
Do you start at when you get the sheet?
Yeah.
Do you start at the top or do you start at the bottom?
I usually go in the middle. I
go in
usually
the
look at
middle?
just because that's what I'm used to.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think and when I say that's what I'm used to, like I think I try to be as humble as possible.
Sure.
And I don't expect like for us to be top or bottom or whatever. So I kind of let me shoot in the middle and then kind of start panning out from there.
Right.
And so I panned. I think I panned up. I think, and then I saw us sitting in second, and it was just the five of us were sitting together, and it was just like we couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
And I think it was at that point it was like, you know what, we don't care at this point. Like we don't want to go in. Let's try to win this thing.
Sure.
We didn't, because that's not what we're about. That's not what we want our kids to be about. We just wanted to go in and just hopefully have the same caliber of performance that we had in prelims, or better, and then kind of see where the cards, lay. So that's what happened.
It was a great show, great year. We'll talk about this year. Not that that's not great year or great show.
Sure.
We'll get to that in a sec.
Sure.
But first, I want to talk about the Hill cart, the Hillbot. In 2018, you created version 1.0. Are we still on 1.0 or do we have 2.0?
Well, I've actually moved on.
What?
Yeah, we parted ways.
Can you tell everyone about the
heel cart?
Yes.
Sure, absolutely. So I just got like a straight up like AV projector cart. That all schools have lying around, right?
For some reason.
Nobody uses them anymore. So I grabbed one, and which I've always kind of used, and I had like my metronome on there or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was just trying to figure out ways to be more efficient, / lazy, and so I decided to strap. I don't remember which came first, but I decided to strap a music stand, just with some, like some ratchet straps around it, and I used one of our broken stands, so I recycled.
Yes, there you go.
As people should.
Yes, it's Austin.
Yes, and so strapped one on and decided, you know what, this is cool. Like this works perfect. I can put my scores right there, and then I think after that, I was like, oh, you know what. If I strap the long ranger to this, not just like my straight up, Dr. Beat, but if I strapped a long ranger to this and rig it up in a way so that it's just not going to fall off, and I can very easily take it back and plug it in at the end of the day, and and so I added that, and I think I added. Oh, this was what'd you say it was? It was 2017?
You said 2018.
2018?
Yes.
So this is back when like Yeti first came out.
That's right. Yes.
So it was
that's
like,
right.
Ooh, it was the thing, and so everybody had a Yeti.
That's right.
So I bought a little Yeti like kind of holder, and so I strapped that on there too. And let's see, what else did I have on there?
Because you had like a bucket on the side, right, for the extension cord, I think, or something.
I think so. Yeah.
It was just like a Swiss
adding.
Army cart.
It was. That's exactly what it was.
For everything. And so you parted ways? What happened?
Well, so I ended up, I bought an iPad Pro. And I had no need for that music stand.
True.
Who uses Yetis anymore?
Damian Gonzalez.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He's probably, he's already going like, what holds my beer in the shower?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have my hydro flask now.
There you go.
Right?
Okay. You're right. Your hydro flask.
So, I think the biggest thing was just, that's it. I forgot. I actually mounted, I don't even remember how I did it, but I mounted just a straight up stool, like a wooden stool.
That's right.
And I just hung it on there so I could drive it everywhere, and the stool would go with me, and it was great.
That's right. So now it's just, you got your band bag?
I think I just have my I just grab a normal music stand and my iPad Pro and some sticks, and there we go. And then I usually wherever we're rehearsing, I usually just grab whatever is around me, and I sit on that.
Yeah.
And if it happens to be a desk or something, then I'll just sit on that.
A tuba case
or
something.
Case.
Yeah, that's what
great.
they're there for. Yeah. Now, before we go on, I would be remiss if I didn't ask the hottest of questions in the percussion world. Okay.
Okay.
Traditional or matched grip?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pause this.
Are we?
No, I'm just
No, come on. Now, well, I'm sure you can say maybe the way you teach, but then also maybe you're like, prefer something. I don't know. So go ahead. Everyone's being political, diplomatic on this question.
Right. Well, so first of all, when I was in high school, I did 2 years on the snare line. And when I was in college, I did snare the whole time. When I was in drum corps, snare the whole time. And so I've always played traditional grip.
Right on. Yes.
And so
That's a good answer.
and so I've when I first got to Vista, they played match grip, and so we stuck with that in 2008. Okay. And then I think we switched over the year afterwards. I think, and then we stayed with traditional grip.
Good. I like where this is going.
Until
wait, what?
This coming year.
What? Wait, what?
We're switching.
You're
switching back to match.
Son of a.
Yeah, we're switching. Yeah.
Rick and Roland right now. You're letting them down. I mean, I could always count on the 3 Mexican percussion guys to be traditional grip, and now Joe Hobbs got to, didn't he? Is that what it was?
That's what it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
The worst. All
the
transplants.
Him and Kennan, I guess. Oh
well, yeah, I guess. So I mean, but what are you losing like an entire snare line this year, and it was just easy to make a switch? Are you doing like all tenors for one section of the show, and then you feel? I know you just had a design meeting, so feel free to just share everything you want to about Vista Ridge 2020.
I think the biggest thing is just every year, and I've always experienced this. Every year, that period of time where we're just not playing well. I mean, the right half of their body is pretty good,
Sure.
And so I always feel like, especially since, that's all we do in middle school is match grip, and they get to high school and they always kind of like, they put a break on, you know what I mean? And
sure.
And it's not until, I don't know, it's not until like mid-October where I finally feel like, oh, cool. Like they kind of have a hang of it now, and
right.
So, and then we go from there. We finish the season and we go from there. And every year it's always just kind of like the same cycle,
Right.
And so, so we're gonna, So as I get older, I try to get.
You're not as old as Roland or Rick. Let's be real.
That's true.
Let's be real. They're still chugging along.
They are.
Yeah, I think they're married to their drum lines.
I think so too.
So that's the thing. All right, so Vista's going matched grip. You heard it here first. I know the answer to this one. Finale or Sibelius, Hector?
Oh, absolutely Sibelius.
Yes, because it's always like, hey, bro, can you get the XML? I'm like, that's right. I forgot. Hector means the XML.
Yeah.
Is that all you've ever used? That's all
No. I used Finale. Dude, I was a Finale guy
I love where this is going. Yeah, great.
And I knew all the, shortcuts and ins and outs.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
But when I switched over, I realized I had 20 years of just kind of wasted time.
How dare you? How dare you? You're telling me I've been wasting my time?
I mean, it's just, but here's the thing. I'm like, the program, Finale so well that I'm sure from a time management standpoint, you probably don't waste a whole lot of
Not anymore.
time.
No,
right?
But you're right. There was a time.
Yeah. I never felt that I got to that level that I was like, right. Dude, like if I could only just eliminate, like, why do I have to do these extra steps?
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm sure there probably is. I just never figured it out.
Sure. I understand.
And so when I switched over to Sibelius, then, things just like, I was like, man, that's so easy. Like, why is it not something the Finale has figured out,
Okay.
And again, maybe they have, I have no idea.
When was the last time you were using Finale?
Oh, probably like 2015, maybe.
Oh, okay, there's been a few things since then.
Yeah,
but still, it took them forever to finally change things. So all right. Yeah. Favorite sticks and mallets.
Oh, Innovative Percussion.
Of course,
absolutely.
Like there's any other answer.
Oh,
well, there shouldn't be. Shout out to those guys. Do you have favorite cymbals?
Zildjian.
I like Zildjian.
Only because that's kind of what I've always been around and kind of what I've always used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've never had to use a Wuhan. I guess. Do people buy them anymore?
Boy,
I bet
with the coronavirus.
Yeah, I know. COVID-19.
That's true. That's
right.
politically correct now. That's a term.
I always liked Zildjian. Sabian are fine. Paiste are okay. Everything, whatever.
Yeah.
I've never had to teach that. Yamaha, Pearl, Ludwig, Premier.
So,
Apex?
When I was in drum corps, we used Pearl. When I was in college, we used Yamaha. They're super, super similar, and you can kind of get them all to sound however you want to sound, right? With whatever heads and whatever case can be. But I will tell you that when I was in college, going back to Dave Reyes, in fact.
Oh, David Reyes.
We had we were rehearsing for PASIC.
Okay.
And
was this TCU?
Drumline. This is A&M Commerce.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And so we were rehearsing for PASIC, and we were doing some drill inside the band hall, in the old band hall of Commerce.
Oh.
And something or another, Dave did the wrong drill move. Stock.
The drill move is too big for his little legs.
Actually, that might have been, but then he just blamed it on something. I went the wrong way. But I remember, we ran into each other, and I was just like, whoa, trying to like catch myself, and I ended up like picking the drum up off of my body before I fell.
Whoa.
And I threw the drum so that I didn't
crap.
because I remember in drum corps I fell on my drum, and the drum came back and just whipped me in the face, and I guess I just had like PTSD at that point when I was falling, so I just threw it. And the drum landed. It was a Yamaha. And as soon as I picked it up, the whole strainer was just like hung down. I remember thinking like, dude, that would never happen to a Pearl. Like you could throw that thing, off the, Empire State Building or whatever.
Right,
and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess if I pick I guess I have picked.
I was going to say, yeah. So you're using the Pearls at Vista? What do they look? What colors are they? I mean, now that everyone wraps them, it doesn't matter, but.
Yeah. So, oh man, what's the actual, like, I can't remember the exact like name of the finish, but it's like all kind of gold sparkle. But like under stadium lights, it kind of like projects all different colors.
Oh, cool. Okay,
yeah, it's really cool.
No Ranger Red or whatever.
No, man, I thought about that. We looked at some, but yeah, just something about it just did not look super cool.
Yeah.
And I think red was like really cool, like in the mid '90s.
Yeah, those 90. Everyone who's got red drums right now is going, oh yeah.
Thanks, man.
They're going, okay, boomer. I think they say that. When describing a bass drum and tam-tam hit together, do you say goosh or boosh, or what other onomatopoeia may you use?
I don't. I just say, hey, hit the tam-tam and bass drum together.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't call it anything special.
All right. Now, you are from Texas. You are teaching in Texas. You know Texas. Are the drums just too loud, Hector?
The drums can be too loud.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Every transplant percussion director removes a UIL and complains about it. Every fall would disagree with you.
Yeah.
It just seems like the drums aren't. It's like, no, I do think the drums can be too loud sometimes.
I do think so. Yes. I think if it's not, I think if the drums are just not, orchestrated in a way, or positioned in a way, or staged in a way that is going to bring the overall, that's going to complement, the wins. And it just kind of gets to the point where it's just like, it's just an annoying type of thing.
Sure.
Because drums can be annoying.
They can be.
Then I think it's just too loud or just not needed, And so that's one of the things that I have learned, I've allowed myself to be able to be okay with, as I've gotten older. Like, no, we don't have to play everything that's everything that was written, we don't have to do all of that stuff. Yeah. It's okay to change some stuff. It's okay to take stuff out, if it's going to make the overall product much more effective, then absolutely. Or if it's just going to be, why all these like weird fivelets into whatever the case can be, and weird stickings and whatever. Like let's just cut that. You know what I mean? Like if it takes away from the wins, if it's like a super cool win moment, and that's it's not, or a staging thing or whatever, then just take that away.
But what if I want to win my drumline contest, Hector?
That's a good question, because we've done that before, where we've done kind of like a band version and like a drumline contest version.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And so like if we go to like the beginning of the year, we go to the Dripping Springs Drumline Contest. So we play, for the most part, kind of everything that's on the page.
Right.
And then we start kind of modifying after that and taking stuff out or whatever. If we end up going to Lone Star at the end of that season, then we'll have like an A and B version type of thing. But if we're not going to Lone Star, then there's no point in doing that, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
we'll modify it.
That's really smart. I hope percussion arrangers and teachers out there were listening to that last part because drums can be too loud. Are the electronics just too loud?
They can be too. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Or just too much.
Oh yes, I get that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, God, there's some incredible programs that where it just seems like, God, that's a lot of electronics, but they do it in such a cool way.
Yes.
And it's super effective and it's cool. I think there's a fine line there.
I would agree with that. I agree. Now, I was told to ask this question by avid listener Eric Kuzman. Eric Kuzman.
I think it's Kuzman.
Is it? I don't know. He's from Chicago. I would like your thoughts on percussion directors having to become audio engineers.
Oh, so yeah, no, that should not be a thing. I think for and Eric and I have talked about this a lot. Like that was kind of the expectation, right? Like coming out. I think that's actually still kind of the expectation.
Well, yeah.
But it used to be where, all right, you're the drum dude or chick or whatever, and you are the one kind of in charge of the board. Man, I remember like the first few years that I was at Vista, I felt that I was spending 50% of my time in front of the board instead of in front of the kids, you know? And those were the years where like, I felt like I needed to be in front of them more, because we're just kind of sort of trying to build the culture and trying to, do things that I felt needed to be done, in the way that I felt needed to be done. And so, and it wasn't until I guess we started kind of bringing in a couple people kind of here and there, like from around town.
Right.
Then I'd be like, cool, like this person, you're here for 3 hours. Yeah. Great. I'm going to go, actually teach.
Yeah.
And so, and I kept having to like, after work, kept having to like research, how do you do this? How do you do that? And that's not something that we're trained on. It's not something that you go to school for. Right. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't looked at college curriculum in a long time, but maybe that's something that's kind of like a thing now where that's an opportunity for them to maybe take a class or something. I have no idea. But this is a cool thing for like somebody like Eric where, and he's not the only one obviously, but like someone like him that's like, man, he could make a really good living in a career doing this right here and going out and he's the guy that's able to like, he's kind of the know-it-all, right, type of thing. I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, you're right. He is a know-it-all.
No, but it's cool to have him do his thing at such a high level.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just makes everything so much better. It's way better than what I could ever do.
Right. For sure. But would you, and we'll talk about it. You came from United South High School, right?
I did.
Down in Laredo, not
Go
the
Panthers.
Valley. Go Panthers, Panther Pride. And I don't know what life was like at United when you were there. When I was at Crockett, it was very different. Synthesizers were not a thing and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But you can understand that if I'm Joe Blow band director or the percussion teacher in I don't want to say inner city, but in AISD, we may not have the capability to bring in an Eric Kosman or a Ruben Rodriguez or something like that. Sure. So you're right that I think a lot of times they go, hey, can you fix the board and can you fix the microphones? But synthesizers, electronics, laptops have become so vital. They're not even like an option anymore. No. Like you kind of have to have them.
Right.
And it falls on the percussion guy. It's just it sucks. And I've been talking to Jordan Stern at Texas State, and I go, hey, are there any courses for this? He goes, no, but now I'm going to devote a whole week where it used to be one day. Like in the marching band methods course, they go, okay, here's your one day, but even a week is not nearly enough to get to it.
Sure.
So how would you, when you first started, was it the Korgs, was it the motifs, or were you already using laptops? Do you remember?
No, we didn't start using laptops until way later. I think we had the Yamaha. No. Sorry, we had the Roland Phantom X8 or whatever that was.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's what we had. And it was all just straight up the patches that kind of came with the keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
But we didn't. I mean, Mainstage wasn't. In fact, we didn't actually start using Mainstage until like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay, sure.
So we did not need a laptop at all until like kind of then.
Right. So it was. I mean, it wasn't as hard as it is today, but still hard in its own way. Of you got to plug it in, and you have to set the levels, and then scenes. And we're using an acoustic board, a digital board. Do you remember?
Yeah, we had the Yamaha OV1 96 or whatever that's called.
Sure.
We had that forever, right? And then we switched over to, I guess, a Personas like 2 or 3 years ago.
Sounds about right.
Kind of like when Eric came on board.
Oh, yeah. Gee, I wonder if someone's getting a kickback from all those things. Yeah. And do you have kids that are like your soundboard kids and like they're all about that? And are they band kids or are they just kids that are interested or what?
I do. Yeah. We've always had to have a band kid, especially for, UIL rule, right? And so, yeah, we've always had a dedicated band kid. It's always just kind of been in years past. It's always kind of been like let's say a wind kid that maybe maybe didn't make a actual marching spot, but like super reliable, super smart type of thing. Then like let's put that kid in front of that board. But recently, so my cymbal line is all double reeds. No, it's always been like that.
Sure.
My synths are all double reeds as well. And so recently we started kind of opening that up for the double reeds as well. Okay. So if you're a double reed kid and like, let's say you're like, no, I don't really want to do cymbals. I don't have any piano experience or I don't really want to do synth, but like I'm kind of techie, like I want to do some stuff like that. Then that could be an opportunity for them to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is Eric your audio engineer, electronic caption head for Vista Ridge or whatever?
Absolutely. All the above. Yes.
All of the above. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And your program, Ronald Reagan, I think when we talk about the band that's utilizing electronics, probably in ways that many aren't, and at a high level, I think that's probably the program with what Ray's doing now on this stuff.
Absolutely.
But it is a necessity now. It's no longer just an added icing. Like
sure,
it's a vital ingredient of that.
Yeah.
So
now Vince Oliver does all of our sound kind of like design.
Okay.
And so he does like all the main stage stuff.
Oh, okay.
So Eric does while Eric takes care of like all kind of the technical side of things. Vince does the sound kind of orchestrating throughout the show type of thing.
Gotcha. So as Eric would say, Vince is the artistry and Eric's the craftsman.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So he's the one that has to roll up his sleeves.
That's right. Using his own words against him. Right. So United South, Laredo, huh? Yeah. So you're just born and raised Laredo your whole life?
No, in fact.
Oh my God. All right. What? It's almost like I was prepped for this. Let's hear about this, Hector.
So I'm a military baby. My brother and I.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so my dad was in the Air Force, stationed in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, my God, with Matt Ehlers.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And so I was there for 3 years, I think. My brother's 2 years older. And so my parents met in Laredo because they went to high school together.
Oh, at South or?
At Martin High School.
I've never even heard of Martin.
Yeah.
Is that Laredo Martin?
Yeah, it's Laredo ISD, Martin High School.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's 2 school districts in Laredo.
That's right.
There's United ISD, and then there's Laredo ISD.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And so they went to Martin. Anyhow, so my dad joined the military, so we're all stationed up there. And then after he served, I think he was in it for 4 years. We moved back to Laredo. And then, so I was there from, when I was 3 until I graduated from high school.
So you're not a Texas native. You were born in Nebraska.
I was born in Nebraska.
What? But you're like when we had our conversations of our crew, like who's the most Mexican? It's always like, Hector and Dave. And,
sure.
But there's like, but only when Dave's around Hector because then they get more Mexican and blah blah blah. But
powers unite.
That's right. And so United South. So when did you graduate high school? Would you mind sharing with us?
Yeah, absolutely. 1995.
Oh, you're only a year older. Okay. All right. I was 96. So,
okay.
Now, what was marching band like in 1995 at United South High School? And I asked knowing full well what it was like.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's funny because my 8th grade year was the first year that school opened up.
Oh, okay.
In fact, so my dad is a retired band director.
Right.
So, and he was the head director at that high school. So when the school opened up, he opened it up, right?
Oh, okay.
And so we both moved over there together, essentially.
Wow.
It opened up, if I remember correctly, as like I think it was like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, which was weird, right?
That is weird, yeah.
Like you don't do that. And then eventually, right, like that went to 8th through 11th, and then eventually whatever. And so, so we were just trying to like not suck, like we were just trying to like, and I think about how much pride we had. And even though like it was super challenging to try to put together, just to try to build something, we didn't care like that it was like rough or whatever. Like we just wanted to be good.
Right.
We just wanted to be respected, And so I remember, I think my freshman, sophomore, junior year, we got a second division at UIL.
Oh.
Like we never got a first division until my senior year.
Oh my gosh, there you go.
Dude, it was like, oh my God. It was like winning the World Series. Like seriously, that's what it felt like.
That's awesome.
I remember the whole band just kind of in the middle of the field and just, this was back when people would actually stick around, right?
Yes,
for results.
of course, yes.
And we just all got in the field and just like, just balling and oh man, it was great.
Those are the days, huh? When getting a one, and now if you don't win, yeah, I mean, basically, state's going to be a failure for y'all, right?
Sure,
you got nowhere to go but down.
Yeah,
ask Marcus High School, right? God. So after United, you went to A&M Commerce, right?
I did,
to get a Bachelor of Music Education degree.
I did.
Why'd you choose commerce?
Okay, so when I was a junior, I went to try out at the Skywriters.
Yes, that's a drum and bugle corps that used to exist.
Yeah, yeah, and so Brian, Dr. West at the time, Brian West, or I guess Mr. West, he was the snare tech.
Oh, okay.
At Skywriters.
All right.
Of course, Paul Rennick was the caption head.
Yes.
Right. And a buddy of mine, Carlos Boteo.
Yes.
We were in high school together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so we both went and auditioned and checked it out. And I think it was just like it might have just been like a one-day camp, if I remember correctly. But anyhow, so we went and checked it out, and I didn't know anything about Brian West. Never even heard about him, right?
Sure.
Because the dude was like, at the time, like 23 or something.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, so I remember being in that room, in that snare room, and, like him breaking things down and so on and so forth. And we left, and I remember talking to Carlos, going like, man, like that was fun. Like I learned so much in just the, whatever 12 hours that we were there. And so I always remembered, that name. Didn't really think much about it later. Right. And for the longest time, I knew I wanted to be a music educator when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 8th grade or something. So for the longest time, I wanted to go to University of North Texas, and that's what I was going to do. And I guess when I was a senior and was like, okay, I'm working up some pieces and I'm going to go audition. And that's when I heard that Brian West was the professor, or he got the professor of percussion position at A&M Commerce. I was like, how's that name sound familiar? Right. And so
yeah,
I set up an audition with him just to kind of test it out and check it out. So we went up and, played for him, and he gave us a tour of the campus and introduced me to a bunch of the students. And man, it was, I immediately felt like this is the right place for me. And so, and I don't like to share this very much.
Hot take, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I had a University of North Texas audition lined up that afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
And we were in the car on the way there. My parents were like, so what'd you think? And I was like, man, I really like it a lot. It was really cool. And like maybe half an hour down the road, and I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, I'm good. We can go home.
No call, no show?
No, man. I think about it now. I'm like, what are you thinking? Because if a student of mine did that right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you doing? Whether you're going to go there or not. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I ended up like blowing off that audition.
Jeez.
I figured, you know what? And at the time, I remember thinking like, they've got like 150 percussion makers or whatever.
Yeah,
so they're not even going to remember, like some dude blowing it off. Well, of course, now that I'm talking about it years later.
Mark Ford and Paul Rennick and Robert Shatroma are all going to, but Shatroma back then, right? So he's going to call you and go like, oh, I was great.
Yeah, we're still waiting on you.
We're still waiting. What's going on? If you end up coming here, maybe your career will go somewhere, Hector. Maybe you'll do a few things.
Right.
So after that, you did some graduate work at the Texas Christian University.
I did.
And then went down to teach at United High School.
Did.
For 3 years as the percussion band director. Did you just want to come back home, or what brought you back to Laredo?
Okay, so I always wanted to go back to Laredo. I didn't know where I was going to eventually end up, but I always wanted to come back, and I wanted to work with my dad. I wanted to teach with him, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so because of kind of like positions or whatever the case can be, like it never quite worked out where we could, because he never had an opening whenever I was whenever I was kind of like needing a job type of thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have an opening. But I always wanted to go back and teach there for a little bit, kind of sort of like give back to the community a little bit, you know?
Sure.
And then eventually get some experience and then move on and do, go somewhere else.
So your dad was at South while you were at United?
Yeah.
And was Frank his assistant, or was
Frank
Sosa?
Foster? Oh, Sosa, no.
Frank Foster? No, that's, yeah.
Frank, okay, so Frank had going...
Don't you know? Eric Cosman just goes, someone hit the mic.
Right, we have to buy another one now.
Yeah, there we go.
So Frank Foster and I taught at United, but that's a different Frank.
Okay.
So Frank Sosa is now he's the head director, right, at United South High School. At the time, he was the head director at Martin High School.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So,
and was John Mallon the director at United when you were there?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, John came in. John came in my 8th grade year, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and he was hired on as assistant band director / percussion, right?
Wait, John's a percussionist?
Oh, I thought you knew that. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
John's a percussionist.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a really good one too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
And so that's why we click. That's
there
why
it is. That must be. Yeah.
Yeah, we're boys, you know. He came in my 8th grade year, and I think it was maybe 3, 4, 5 years after that, and he, ended up becoming the head director.
Wow.
So he's been the head director at United for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did Michael replace you? Michael Garcia?
Not immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, there was maybe 1 or 2 after me, and then Mike.
Got him and his twin just came down and started teaching percussion.
Now you know that Mike was one of my students, right, at United.
No.
Yeah. In fact, I taught 2 Mike Garcias at United. One of them is the current percussion director there, and the other one is Mike Garcia that was at Berkner.
Oh,
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. It's the Hector Gil tree, huh?
I don't know. Something.
Man. So after your 3 years, you went back to TCU, but you ran the drumline there. Were you doing anything else in the area?
I was teaching private lessons and kind of freelancing around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but mostly at Martin High School.
At Arlington Martin.
Yes.
Who was the teacher there?
Chavez.
Oh,
Brian
that's
Lowe.
right. Brian Lowe. Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Brian.
That is correct. Yes. Did he still have his facial hair back then? Or yes. I don't know if he's ever
I think he was born with that.
Yeah. Sounds about right. So you did that, and then you made your fateful move to the Austin area, because Vista Ridge is not located in Austin, to Vista Ridge and Henry Middle School in 2008, where you have been ever since.
Kind of.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Another hot take here.
Oh my God, what?
So
we're giving away all the secrets.
Yeah, so I actually taught a year with Juan Carrera.
At Leander High School? Juan C. Carrera?
Yes.
Wait.
Juan
but before you went to...
Before I was at Vista.
So it was like TCU and then Leander, you were like a tech?
Yes, so I taught private lessons at Leander and at Cedar Park and at Georgetown.
What? Was Paul at Cedar Park at the time?
No, he was at Georgetown. So I taught with
Manny?
Paul. No, because Manny was at Cedar Park.
Yeah, okay. Manny was at Cedar Park. Paul was at Georgetown. You were late.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So I just kind of went. I was like Dave, basically. I was just kind of everywhere.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And rebuilding houses in your spare time.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, gotcha. Okay.
And so, so I was kind of the only place. The funny thing is that in the district at the time, it was just Leander, Cedar Park, and Vista Ridge. We were the only 3. Those were the only 3 high schools at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Festival of Bands that year, which was like kind of relatively early, like early October-ish or so. And I remember going to Festival of Bands, and when I was teching at Leander, right, and seeing Vista Ridge, and I was like, dude, like they're good. Like, wow, like they're really, really good, man. So I remember talking to Juan and going like, hey, man, like, who's a percussion director at Vista Ridge? And, we talked about that a little bit. Anyhow, that individual ended up, whatever.
Yeah.
He ended up leaving,
correct.
Right? And the position opened up, and the rest.
And then there you go.
And
was Kyle there already?
Kyle was there. Yeah.
Brian Kyle. Who was the other person after Brian?
Andrew Strait.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah. So it was 4 of us my first 2 years, and then that's kind of like when budget cutbacks kind of
That's
happened
right,
and
that's
stuff,
right.
and then we lost the director.
Oh,
so
wow.
Andrew,
wow,
was not there afterwards.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
and miss Andrew, good guy.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll pour one out for Andrew.
Yes.
You marched the Bluecoats Drum and Bugle Corps from Canton, Ohio in 97 and 98. What were those two shows? I forget what they're called.
The first year was Midnight Jazz, I believe.
Oh, this was that type era of the Bluecoats, all right?
yes,
And then 98 was... What do you
98
remember?
was the Four Seasons of Jazz. Oh, wait, sorry. 97 was Midnight Blue,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
and then 98 was the Four Seasons of Jazz.
And why'd you go to Bluecoats?
Okay, so one of the guys that I was in college with, Brian Jervicki,
Okay.
played quads at Bluecoats in 96.
Oh.
And I kind of had always wanted, I wanted to eventually march a Paul line. But he took those 2 years off. He took 96 and 97 off from drum corps.
Gotcha.
So I remember kind of debating, like, okay, well, what would be kind of the right track, right? So I kind of sort of, all right, now Dr. West marched Blue Devils. So that was kind of like, I remember talking to him about that. And but at the time, I think they still mandated their members to like move in.
Yeah.
Right?
It was Vanguard and Blue Devils.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that or not, but
I mean, I don't think they do the weekly drum sessions, but back in the 90s or before, you basically had to move there.
Like in the spring semester, And so anyhow, so that wasn't even an option, right?
Right. Yeah.
So anyhow, Bluecoats was Bill Bachman was teaching there,
Right.
Dr. Jim Yakis at the time, just Jim, right?
Mr. Yakis.
Yeah. And Matt Savage was the captain head there. And so it just felt like, okay, you know what? This is probably the right direction right here. And then I'll kind of figure it out. I went and loved it so much and decided to just stay there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the Bluecoats of today? I mean, they're not the Bluecoats of the 90s.
Not the Bluecoats of the
They're
90s,
not jazzing it up like they used to.
You know, it's
like
pretty
the Crossman.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
It is.
No
They're
doubt.
good. They're very entertaining, but I want to hear Birdland. Come on.
Right.
I mean, that's a Crossman. That's a Crossman. I would like your thoughts on sparkling water, specifically Topo Chico.
Oh, I love Topo Chico. For sure.
Do you have a favorite flavor of it?
I mean, I can do either, just the stock or the lime.
I like that you said either, disregarding entirely that there's grapefruit out there.
Yeah, I don't put that into the equation.
No. God, who does?
No. But I do enjoy. I like a lot of sparkling water.
Do you?
For sure.
Yeah. Do you like LaCroix?
I can drink a LaCroix, but I like Waterloo.
Oh, I've heard Waterloo's pretty good.
Waterloo's good.
What about bubbly? Have you tried bubbly?
I have not.
Neither have I.
The kids talk about
the
that.
kids.
Yes.
The kids.
Yes.
The kids. Like your kids or just the kids with the...
No, like the school kids.
The school. Where's your daughter go to college? Daughters.
So our youngest goes to the University of Texas.
That's right. As I was scrolling through your feed for data, I did see that she was looking at different colleges. Like, what, A&M? No.
Yeah,
but okay, UT.
Yeah, our oldest went to A&M.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're a little house divided.
That's true.
But we're not super like young.
Obviously, you're not into sports, so you don't care.
No, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So we just want them to get a good education and feel good about it.
And what did the oldest study at A&M?
So Michaela studied marine biology.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a good school for that.
Yeah. So she went to A&M Galveston, which is the only A&M school that's actually part of A&M. So when you graduate from A&M Galveston, your diploma says A&M.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I see. Okay.
It doesn't say A&M Commerce or
Gotcha,
West Texas A&M or whatever.
Sure. Oh.
And they do that because obviously they have all of their research facilities in Galveston.
Because you would have to be by the ocean.
Either. Yeah,
I see. Okay. And then the youngest at UT?
So she's doing business.
Is it Macomb School at that point or not?
It is.
Geez.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
She came from San Marcos Rattlers.
She did.
She was a drum major.
She was a drum major for 2 years.
Rattler band.
Yes, she was.
She didn't play drums?
She did not play drums. Thank God. Thank God. No, she when she was like in third, fourth grade or so, she would kind of play around a little bit, and I remember thinking like, oh man, is this going to be like a thing? And so, but when she went in to do like her band auditions, she decided, no, you know what, I kind of want to do flutes, and so I was like, all right, that's great.
That's right.
You're not having to hang out with those dudes
because we remember what we were like.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes, that's it's always the karma at some point on that.
It is.
At what point did she get taller than Dave Reyes? Like when she was 9 or 10 or?
That's a good question, man. It's been a while. It's hard to remember.
Does she remember a time when she wasn't taller?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't, is she still passing clothes to him to wear as hand-me-downs or anything like that? Any of your daughter?
That's funny.
Dave's gonna kill me.
They're a little tight. It's a little tight.
This is the worst Dave Reyes one. I mean, everyone. How can we not talk about Dave? You're here.
I know.
I mean, if I ever get Amanda Pinner on here,
I was like, you know what? What are we going to talk about? We don't really have a whole lot to talk about except for Dave.
Yeah,
you know?
he's such a very it's a good topic. I'm sure Damian Gonzalez is laughing a lot about this. Matt Ehlers, his little buddy who slept in a drawer in their house. So
that was in fact. I think it was this size right here, right? This little tiny drawer.
The little drawers I have my music scores in. Now, Hector, do you write your own percussion book at Vista Ridge?
I do not.
Why not?
For multiple reasons, actually. So the last year that I wrote for Vista Ridge was in 2013, and we did Scheherazade that year.
Good music.
Yeah. And I kind of felt that we got to a point where I just kind of felt like the group had gotten to a point where they really, I couldn't write the level of quality that they needed. And so I felt, you know what, we need to, and plus not only that, but like every other school kind of around us was like hiring all sorts of, like the kind of the best of the best, right?
Sure. So
we researched a few different people and so we decided to go ahead and hire Tom Rarick. So he's been writing for us ever since. Now I think about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, the school district kind of mandated that you can no longer write your own book and get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to.
Right.
I would have to do it, I guess, pro bono. Which who wants to do that?
Who wants to do free work? That's awful.
Right.
So Tom is in a sea of Andrew Markworth, basically, in Leander ISD. But I think, does Colin write Leander's still?
I think Colin does, and I think Mike Zeller's. I think the two of them kind of share it.
They do that. Who writes Glenn's? I don't know what goes on over at Glenn.
I think it's Markworth.
Is it? And so and Rouse uses Markworth, and Cedar Park uses Markworth, and Vandergrift uses Markworth.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the thing too. Like we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a little different sound,
for sure,
and so kind of keep it our own. And I think with the style of music that we do, like the kind of the pieces that we typically kind of pick, I think it fits really well with what Tom does, And so
I always liked his stuff at Bluecoats, right? Is that where you came up with Tom?
Yeah. No. So Tom didn't start writing for Bluecoats until like 2002.
Was it with him and Mac, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so he was writing the Pit book and up until like maybe like, I could be off like a year or two, but like 2008, 2009, he was writing the Pit book. And then after that, he started writing the entire book. So until now.
Gotcha.
So he's currently like the, percussion arranger, right?
Gotcha. I'm sure Cosmin is texting both of us like, Tom came on in this year. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Well, and one of the reasons I ask is, as I have said on Facebook, and I'll say it publicly, is you're my favorite all-in-one arranger to work with. And when I mean all-in-one, for those that don't get that, is you write the battery in the pit.
Correct.
And my favorite team is the Team Eastless with Doug Bush and Patricia. Yeah. She does the pit, he does the battery. But I love what you do. We do it at United, McCallum Memorial, right? I think there's another one. I can't remember.
There's been a few. It seems like every year there's kind of been like a somebody else type of thing.
And I always recommend you, and I hope you get tons of money because I love it. I love what you do, and it's always fun to get your tracks when you send them back.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so that's right. If I didn't mention you, I don't like your writing. So.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Please hire me. So you're not a Texas native, but you're from Laredo. So I'm going to ask you some questions about food because this is the questions that Colton Bean is very much interested in. Nobody cares about anything else except for the food questions. Best place to get tacos in the Austin area?
Best place to get tacos. It's changed. I think currently right now, I'd probably say my favorite will probably be Taco Deli. Yeah.
I like that place too. I prefer it to Torchy's like 100%.
But here's the thing. I think it's a different style. You know what I mean? You got, it's a little, They have like Torches has all the hybrids.
Yes, the fusion stuff.
All the hybrid, and Taco Deli is more like the 40 standard rudiments.
Yes, thank you. That's a good way of putting it. All right, yeah. If you want the hybrid rudiments, you go to Torches.
You would understand that.
I do at CHUGGADA. I get that. So San Antonio, though, do you have a best place to get tacos when you go to San Antonio?
No, I don't get tacos in San Antonio.
What? Everyone in San Antonio has just turned off this podcast.
I guess so. Wow. But here's the thing.
I know. Okay.
I'm from Laredo.
I was going to say.
There's nothing that's like Laredo Mexican food.
Correct. Well, do you have a place in Laredo that you like to get tacos at?
Yeah. Whenever I lived there, my favorite place, which I'm sure it's still around, is Taco Palenque.
I love that place.
It's so good, dude.
It's in New Braunfels, right? Don't they have one in New Braunfels or something?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, they keep expanding.
It's such a good place.
It is. It really is.
And do they have a Delias Tamales in Laredo?
No, I don't think so.
I was in McAllen a few weeks ago,
and
they have the Delias tamales, and it was some of the best tamales I've ever had. But you're right about there's just Mexican down there in the valley or Laredo. Yeah. The food down there is so I can understand where you're like, I don't eat in San Antonio. I'll just drive a few more hours down there.
yeah. So like we had and I'm sure this is probably one of your questions, but we had a taco cabana.
Solid.
But nobody ever goes.
How does that survive in the valley?
I don't know.
Or Laredo. Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there's some white folk.
There are
in Laredo.
But even down there, they have to know like, oh no, we're not going there.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Especially because when we were in McAllen, John Yu, he's band director at Seven Lakes, he found like this taco truck that was open till 4 a.m. and all they spoke were Spanish. The menu was entirely in Spanish and it was great. And you got like 4 tacos for $6 or something like that. They're the little ones so I can't imagine being like, it was next to a Whataburger. Like, why would I ever go to Whataburger? I would just eat here every time.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite fast food burger?
A fast food burger, man. We don't really eat fast food, but if I had to pick, I'd probably say Whataburger.
All right, that's solid. That's a good choice. Do you have a favorite fast food chicken, or just favorite fried chicken in general?
No,
you don't eat fried chicken
because
it's fried.
I've just never really been a huge fried chicken type of person. No, maybe there was one that you took a video.
That chicken,
it's like
chicken sandwich place.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was called. I don't. Dustin Tharp suggested.
From
Vandergrift, and he goes, "You need to go there. It's the best chicken sandwich ever." It was great.
It looked great.
It looked really.
I stayed engaged in that throughout that.
Wow,
video.
Thank you. You're a supporter for someone who doesn't like any of my Facebook pages, except for the podcast. That's fine. Favorite barbecue? Everyone,
Franklin's, of course, yes.
If there's any other choice,
no.
I mean there are, but whatever.
Yeah, and we've been to, we've checked out Blacks. We've checked out, I think we've gone to, what is it? Mickelwaith?
Yes.
I think we've checked that out too, but no, it's nothing like Franklin.
No. Do you have a favorite wing place?
If I had to pick a place, I think I'd probably, I guess I do like Wingstop, maybe, I guess.
God.
Yeah.
You're letting me down on so many of these.
We used to go to Pluckers all the time.
At Lakeline?
Yeah. And then it just always seemed like it was just like a whole lot of it just got to the point where just like a lot of kind of aggression and people, not us, right, but kind of people around.
Sure. So speaking of Paul Pape, I'm curious because I asked this question to Matt Ayler, so I'm going to ask it of you, but differently. What is it like for you to get to teach with and compete with such phenomenal percussion teachers in the Austin area, such as Rick Rodriguez, Roland Chavez, Joe Hobbs, Matt Aylers? As mentioned, these guys aren't just some of the best educators in the city, but in the state and possibly the nation. Like there's just this center of percussion greatness. It's got to be inspiring, deflating, frustrating, all those things, right? Like you go up against those guys all the time.
All the above, yeah. I love it. It's fantastic. When I taught in Laredo, we had a really good community with the percussion. I had a really good community with the percussion directors down there. And which was awesome. When I moved to Dallas Fort Worth, it was kind of the similar situation, but nothing has kind of been, nothing has been the same. It hasn't been the same type of experience that it's been here. Mm-hmm. And so, I think we're always kind of like, sure, we want to beat each other, but at the same time, like we all have just this huge amount of support and respect for each other. And it's like whenever, whenever I see, like, I always tell my kids like, hey, if we're going to go to Dripping Springs or whatever the case may be, and you're going to see some phenomenal programs, don't look at it like, like, oh, there are, they're the competition. Like, we got a dog on them. We got to, no, like you got to embrace that, because this doesn't happen anywhere else. It's not normal, know? And so I try to, I try to do as much of like kind of, let's all, as long as everybody's getting better, then that's a good thing.
Sure.
It's not a bad thing. And so, it's great. It is intimidating. It keeps you on your toes,
Sure.
But it's great, man. This whole community that we have here is fantastic.
Because it feels like every year one of y'all comes out on top. It's never like the one same drum line. Because I think Vandergrift has won, y'all have won, Cedar Park has won, Rick's won. Like a different year, some line just comes out and you're like, oh. But it never seems like somebody dominates either, because it could be like, oh, Vandergrift wins, but Vista wins snares and Cedar Ridge. Like, so it's just I mean, y'all
kind of share the glory.
You do. There's enough room for everybody, but it's like you said, it pushes y'all, because we wouldn't have this greatness if everyone was just like, whatever.
Right, absolutely.
And everyone's friends, like you said. I mean, we talk about the Paul Pape barbecues all the time, but it seems like we all end up at Paul's at some point.
Yeah.
And, we do talk about percussion, but then it's also, we don't talk about it, and we talk about sports. Some of us talk about sports, Hector.
That's when I usually go.
You're like, all right, guys, I got to go. No, but it's definitely a great environment that is, like you said, it is not the same. I mean, that was one of the things Rick said when he came down here from Houston area was, it's not like this in Houston. And maybe it's like this now with the younger crowds, but back when we were coming up, it was a very much cutthroat environment.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. I think people were always kind of super respectful. Whenever I didn't live here, where I've lived, either in Dallas or Fort Worth, Laredo, whatever. Like you would run into people at contests, and everybody was super respectful and cool and whatever, but wouldn't really hang out.
Sure.
Or maybe they did. Maybe I just was never invited.
Because you were too good, probably. Or they like, oh, he's going to bring Dave with him.
Right. But you're right. I think that whenever we would hang out at Paul's or kind of anybody's house, it was always, I looked forward to the hang, not the like talking about, the contests or whatever, not the shop talking. However, I think that's always kind of been part of our education, like let's feed off of each other. Let's talk about things like that. Because if you don't talk about that, then how are you going to kind of grow in a social setting like that? And how are you going to kind of, you want to find out some behind the scenes things that people do. For sure. And how are you going to do that? Well, let's actually talk about it,
Absolutely.
But no. I mean, I think I really looked forward to the hangs, and that's cool.
That's my favorite part too. Cause I don't teach and whatever.
Yeah.
So you recently had a Vista Ridge High School Percussion Ensemble concert.
We did. Yeah.
Lots of great pieces on the program. Lots of great composers on the program too, Hector.
Here we go. Yeah. I'm glad you saw that. Yeah.
Of course, I always look at all of my friends in the general area program and go, now you have played my music more recently than some people like Matt Ehlers have, but that's okay. Like I think I wrote a piece for Ridgeview, and then the next year you did it like immediately. You did it like the next semester immediately. Yeah, like you're like.
In fact, I was at that concert at Midwest.
Oh, that's right.
Ridgeview played it
with yes.
I think I sat right behind you, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. Was Damien right there too? Damien and Jessica?
Maybe so. I don't remember. I think Nathan Daughtry was like right next to us, right across the aisle.
We're just dropping names like
all over the place.
Like,
right?
oh yeah, Thank You Scientist was on the other side. Blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, no. I'm curious, when you put together your middle school or high school concerts, I know there's two different types. Like this concert was, I'm not going to call it a normal concert, but it wasn't a Midwest or PAS concert. Sure. Some of those have more limitations on what blah. But you are tasked with not only giving kids their meat, right, giving them their protein and their vegetables, but then also giving them their candy, like the fun stuff. So can you talk a little bit about what goes through your mind year to year when you're putting these percussion extravaganza concerts together, and what things you prioritize for the really good kids, your normal kids, and maybe some of the kids that need a little bit more love and such?
Sure. I think the biggest thing that I look for is, number one, making sure that the ensemble that I pick has the correct amount of students in that particular ensemble. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And then at the end of the day, like I don't look for necessarily certain skills to build up to, or I just try to find pieces that are just cool to listen to, cool to play, and that I know that kids will be able to like really dive in and enjoy it. Sure. And a lot of times I'll kind of pick like 2 or 3 pieces for each band, for each ensemble, and I'll kind of share with them and see like, hey, listen to these. Yeah. Take a look, and, we'll talk about it, and let's see what you guys want to do. And so, so that kind of puts it on them a little bit, and so, hey, it's like, well, you picked this, so here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to figure it out. But no, I honestly like, I don't put a whole lot of brain cells, to be honest with you, into it. Like, I just want to play really cool music at the highest level, and sometimes that means that like maybe the piece isn't that hard, but it's just like a really cool piece of music, that would be fun to play.
Do you remember what you taped with for PAS most recently?
Yes. In 2018, we did Nathan Daughtry's Chasing Infinity, which was a brand new work. It hadn't even been published yet.
Oh, wow.
And so he wrote it for, I don't remember the exact title of the competition, but there's like a Dutch national percussion competition or something like that.
Okay.
And so, and evidently he's been kind of writing, I think he's been writing a piece for them for the last like few years.
Oh,
so
wow.
he just like composes something. They, like multiple groups learn the same exact piece.
Gotcha.
And they all compete against each other on the same exact piece,
that's
which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they, but the other thing is that I think he only shares a MIDI recording with them, obviously for because nobody's played it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then once they share it, oh man, how did it work? Or sorry, whenever he shared it, there was a piece that I want that he had just written like in maybe the end of 2017, that I was like, man, this is really cool. Like I want to purchase it, but how do I get my hands on it? Because it wasn't even on his website. It was like on his SoundCloud, but it wasn't like, you couldn't buy it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And so so we bought that, but then he was also, hey, check out this piece too, which was the Chasing Infinity.
Gotcha.
When he sent me that, I was like, dude, okay, that's what we got to play.
Yeah.
And so, so I remember now we couldn't share any recordings at all. Like I couldn't put it on YouTube. I couldn't do anything until the Dutch National Championships had concluded.
Oh, so no one could kind of be influenced by your interpretation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so once that concluded, then finally I could like release it and whatever. So that was one of the pieces that we did. We also did Ivan Trevino's Catching Shadows. Yeah, yeah. And then we also did Michael Lorello. He has a piece called Spine.
Oh, okay.
So we did those 3 pieces.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so then it all came out to like maybe like 27 minutes of music.
Now, did you tape for Midwest for percussion for Midwest or for Vista?
Never.
No.
Never.
Is that ever in your thought process?
I don't know. That's a good question, man.
You get an extra month of preparation.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah. I don't know. I've thought about it. I think if we tape again, we'll probably go ahead and tape for PASIC again because we'll be eligible next year. Oh, I'm not trying to suggest that we're going to do that, but I think if we did, we'd probably go down that avenue again.
Sure. Who is a designer, a performer, a teacher, a composer, whatever that maybe is not there yet, unheard of on the lowdown that you think people need to be listening to or paying attention to or to go out and look at?
Oof, man, that's a good question.
Thank you. That's why I ask it.
Well, so that's not there yet.
Yeah, and maybe they. I don't know. It's sort of like because if you say like, who's a drill writer, everyone should talk about Michael Gaines. Well, yeah. Sure. I mean, does Michael Gaines need us to talk about him? Maybe there's an unsung drill writer out there. I'm not saying it has to be a drill writer, but maybe there's a teacher, young up and coming percussion teacher or a percussion arranger. It's just something that you've gone like that person's going to go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I think I would probably. I think of someone like Drew Sines, but I think Drew has. I wouldn't categorize him as somebody that's not quite there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's taught at Westlake, and now he's at Rouse.
Right.
I mean,
right.
But he's not on the level. I think that we could be fair. I mean, he hasn't done the things that you or Rick or Roland or Paul or Joe have done yet. But he's young.
Yeah, but he will get to that point. Yeah, I think I see the stuff that he's done, that he is doing. and it was cool. Like I judged his young artist competition a few weeks ago, and man, it was cool to see. Like, okay, like here are his top kids. Here are the kind of middle of the pack. Here are the weaker kids. And it's nice to see the direction, you know. And and they had an all-stater this year, you know, first Rouse all-state percussionist
That's awesome.
ever. The drum lines are getting so much stronger. I mean, so the dude is doing all the right things, you know, and I think that's going to be a program, you know, percussively that's going to be doing some really cool things.
That's awesome.
In no
That's
time.
good. Yeah, and he's about to be a dad, so good for Drew. His life's going to change completely,
Right,
as we all know.
Yeah.
Hector, for the folks listening to us at home, in their cars, in their bathtubs, in the subway, walking their dogs, at the gym, waiting to vote, typing up invoices, waiting for results at a marching band contest, sitting in the waiting room of an urgent care clinic, hoping they don't have COVID-19, standing in the registration line at major music conference, or guarding a bathroom during standardized testing, please describe in excruciating detail what shoes you are currently wearing.
Okay, in excruciating as possible, I've got these. Sorry, I'm getting away from the mic.
Yes,
I've got these. Okay, so it's there it is right there.
Oh yeah. All right, I like them.
So the name of the company is Penny Luck Shoes.
Okay,
It's an Austin-based company.
I like where you're going here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I saw them at the Pecan Street Festival.
Yes.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. And they are, it's a falcon gray toe cap boot.
All right, go on.
Yeah. And the cool thing's at the bottom, there's a penny at the very bottom, like at the sole, you know?
You are correct.
Yeah. And so here, I'll let you check them out. And
Yes.
so,
this is awesome. That's a nice touch.
yeah. And so it gets better.
I'll go on.
And so,
Very excited about it. This is my favorite question of anything we talk about on any podcast.
so the penny that's put on there is specifically put on there by a military vet.
Oh, okay.
So this company specifically tries to hire vets.
Oh, okay.
And you can get, I think, I didn't do it, but you can get like a specific year of the penny, right? Like put on the shoe, the bottom of the shoe.
Sure.
And for like an extra whatever, right?
More than 1 cent, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah. But this company, they support the what is it called?
Come on, man.
I can't remember the name of the company.
I guess we could look it up.
Yeah, I guess we could.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah. Man, what is it
And
called?
the company's called Penny Luck. While you're thinking
Penny Luck, yeah, Penny Luck Shoes. The name of the company that they Purple Heart Foundation.
Purple Heart. That makes sense. Yeah.
And so they donate just a ton of money to soldiers with PTSD.
Oh, fantastic. No, that's great. Yes, they are in Austin, Texas. Brian Munoz, or there's no tilde, so is it Munoz, I guess?
I have no
Maybe they
idea.
just couldn't figure out how to put it on the website.
No, yeah, it's very awesome.
No, that's awesome. Yes, the military order Purple Heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool. When you're done, I'm gonna look into this.
Absolutely.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
so those are my shoes.
You might have the nicest shoes of anyone who's been a guest.
Oh.
I'm wearing sandals, so it's okay. But
That's an honor.
it
Wow,
is.
that's a big deal.
I've had Yeezys on here, but there's nothing wrong with Yeezys. But yours like just yeah. So everyone go support the Penny Luck. Do you get a discount if they say Hector Gil sent me here or anything like that?
I highly doubt it because this is the only pair that I own from them. So they're probably like, dude, buy 10 more and then we'll talk.
Right. Okay. Buy 10 more pairs of shoes.
Right.
So we talked about Vista Ridge 2018. Let's talk about Vista Ridge 2019.
Let's do it.
Why was your show so hard? Because I think that might have been like visually one of the hardest shows I've seen a high school band attempt, and oftentimes executed.
Sure.
But I mean, look at that first like minute and a half, and y'all are and not just from a velocity standpoint, but you have a giant cylinder of a disc on the field, and stage, like just listening, environmental issues, and all these things. As I mentioned to Eric, it seems like if it was 10% easier, you might have been second or first or second at BOA San Antonio. Like, what was it like working on that hard of a show? It's like Hebron hard. Hebron played a bunch of hard stuff. Y'all did a visual package unlike anybody, that's for sure, in the state.
Yeah. It was a challenge, but it was fun, and it was I think it was something that we wanted to explore.
Sure.
So we, just like anything, like you don't know, right? Like, okay, what are the limits of the band program? Like, what can we do? And so we felt like this would have been kind of a year to kind of check things out, kind of explore some stuff. And we obviously, just like we do every year, we learned, from the process, and we discussed things that went really, really, really well, and stuff that, we need to continue to work on, and so on and so forth, just like anything. And so, but I think I think that, like, I'm so excited for next year's show. And it's the same exact design team, so none of that's changed at all. I think for all of us, it was good to, like, okay, let's try something that we think could be super, super cool, and then make modifications as needed.
So where's the pit going to be this year?
The pit will actually be back on the 50-yard line.
Oh, so this isn't a Hector Gil Vista Ridge exclusive thing. I know that with a lot of percussion teachers, the minute you say, "What if we move the pit?" Because that's usually a drill designer, visual designer, whatever, they want to move it because it's just, we just moving 20 yards down the field. It's not as simple as that. Like, what can you share your reaction when they go, "Hector, we want to move the pit"?
It was I had never done it before, right? So I was definitely, nervous about it.
Sure.
But at the same time, I was open to, like, trying it, and especially because of the people that we had on the design team. Right. These were people, I mean, like Tom has experienced, Vince, Eric, Lindsay, they have all experienced putting the front ensemble in various parts of the field and having it work together.
For sure.
So I felt there was that safety net. I kind of felt like, you know what, I trust these people, first of all. And this, let's check this out. Let's see. But I think here the most difficult thing, I think, was the size of our pit. I mean, I have 26 kids in the front ensemble.
You have 6 marimbas?
We have 6.
6 is the new 4, man.
Yeah, it is. It is
crazy to me. How many vibes? You have 6 vibes?
We started out with 6 this past year. We ended up with 5.
Okay.
Only 5.
Only. Jeez. Yeah. Some people were like, "What? Oh God." Yeah.
Yeah. But that was, I mean, it was so difficult because, I mean, I don't even remember how many yards, like, we covered, but just like this phasing from one side of the pit to the other.
That's.
And so we had to, as many times in the show where we had to kind of, like, okay, side 2 of the front ensemble, like, you're not playing, it's just going to be side 1 or whatever, so that was a challenge for sure. But we felt like, you know what, let's try to see if maybe we want to continue the same challenge, but let's maybe put him back in the middle and see how that works out.
Sure. So this year is going to be a big year for the Vista Ridge Band. Not only are you, quote unquote, defending your 6A state marching band title, but you're also going to Grand Nationals. Are you doing the Dripping Springs Drumline contest again?
We are.
Are you going to do Lone Star? Does that conflict?
We won't. It's I think it's like a week before Grand Nationals, but like at that point we want to be putting all of our emphasis on the BO.
Correct, because you would have just done more. I mean, it's not foolish to think you're going to do BOA San Antonio on Friday and Saturday probably, or do you just or would you do it all day Saturday? I guess you don't know yet.
I don't know yet.
And then more than likely state marching contest on Monday, and more than likely on Tuesday. And then, so yeah, I imagine. So you have this year coming up. Expectations from outside are probably higher for the Vista Ridge Band than maybe ever, right? Even more than this year, just because it's not state again. In Texas, we do state every other year. I'm curious, and I know how the political answer goes, Hector, so you can be a little political. What sort of expectations do you place on the Vista Ridge Ranger Band going into 2020?
Personally, I don't. I don't really put a whole lot of expectation, other than like our thing has always kind of been like, whatever we do, let's do it to the best of our ability, right? Sure. And then, like, let's have as much fun as we potentially could have. And if we win a contest or two or not, at least at least we are all going the direction that we want to go, And so, I that's a question that we've gotten asked, that has been asked a lot, but to be honest with you, I think, the expectation hasn't really changed. It's just we're just wanting to continue to do cool things, and so, that being said, I mean, sure, we would love to, to repeat, we'd love to do that.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want you to say stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. No, but again, like, I think going back to 2018, we weren't expecting that, we just wanted to be good. We just wanted to be respected. We just wanted to put the best product out there and push the kids, to the fullest and have them experience everything that they could. And then kind of see, what happens after that. So that's going to be, I think, the same expectation going into this coming year. I think as as educators and as the design team and just the students and just kind of everything, I think we have the right team, to be able to put something out there that I think would be able to compete well. Sure. But whether it's going to be better than 2018 or whatever, like, I have no idea.
Right.
So no, I think, like, we try not to have that expectation that we have to, we gotta at least get to the same,
right.
whatever. So.
Okay. That's a nice, honest answer.
Yeah.
Or you could have been like, we want to win everything. That's our goal.
Right.
You could say
I should have just said that.
Why not? That's what people want to hear. People want to hear you go, Vandergrift won Grand Nationals. Why can't we?
Why can't we? Yeah.
Cedar Park won state again. Why can't we?
Yeah.
Leander won Class AAA. Why can't we? Like, I just think, it would be, I would love for you to go, like, we're just going to go pick up the Eagle from Vandergrift High School and just keep it at Vista.
Yeah. We mailed them the stamp already.
That's right. Like, here's a self-addressed stamped box or whatever on your way out of town. Just drop it off at Vista Ridge. That would be funny. We're gonna put it in your voice and make it sound like you just said all of that. So, hey, what's next for you, Hector? You just had your percussion ensemble concert. It's UIL. You don't do a band, right? What do you got?
So, UIL's coming up. We have our young artist competition coming up in April. Which is basically our solo contest, right?
Right.
So that's coming up. Drumline workshops, drumline auditions are coming up the week before spring break. Just kind of at this point, especially now that, like, the percussion ensemble concert is done, man, it's gonna be way more chill, for the rest of the semester. Now, this is the first year that I've done the percussion ensemble concert this early. Usually it's in late April.
Oh boy.
And so so it's like, we bust a lot in the beginning of the year or the beginning of the semester, and then they get put, like, after TMEA, we put them in their respective bands. And then after after UIL, all right, let's switch gears again. Let's try to work the pieces back up again, you know? And when they're doing the UIL stuff, I still pull them from class every now and then. We work on ensembles and stuff, but it's always just a struggle trying to get it to the level that we want it to be at, and then having to balance between testing. It's right after UIL, drumline workshops, like all that kind of stuff. It's just like, man, why are we doing this? You know? Right. So I decided, after last year, and it was great. I mean, we ended up the concert. I felt good about it, but I didn't feel good about the process leading up to that point.
Okay.
So we decided, you know what? Let's do it way earlier. When's the calendar available, or when's the auditorium available?
Yeah.
And the only time that was available was right after TMEA. So that's what we did,
Which is why you didn't go to TMEA till later, right? You wanted to make sure to have your rehearsals.
Exactly, yeah. I went on Friday and came back on Saturday. So I went down Friday morning, came back Saturday morning. So I was only down there for literally 24 hours.
Right.
You
got to grind, man. You got to hustle.
I guess so.
That's how it goes. So is there anything you want to plug? A website, a business, shoes?
What's something to plug? I guess. We have a Vista Ridge band video YouTube account.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
right,
what's it called? It's literally Vista Ridge band video.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. It's nothing super cool and creative.
And do they have? Is it a vlog? Do they interview you?
It's just a bunch, like anything that's kind of Vista Ridge related. Whether it's a band concert or percussion concert or whatever, you know.
Just the Ridge Band video.
All
That
the
is
marching
correct.
band, like, you know, all the marching band videos are on there. Like the halftime shows and like all that kind of stuff.
Cacciatera's on there.
Cacciatera's on there.
I don't
you,
see any.
you can find Mayhem on
Oh,
there
I was going to say,
too.
how far down do I have to scroll to find one of my pieces?
I think we did Mayhem, if I remember correctly. I think we did Mayhem, was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was a few years ago, yes, because I'm still nope. Well, all right, well,
What's on there?
that's fine. We're just going to keep scrolling and record how long it takes for you to get to one of my pieces.
Yeah.
That's all right. You've played one of my pieces more recently than Brian has, so
There you go.
I mean, that's ever really.
Right.
I think so.
Right.
Well, Hector, I always say this, but it's been a pleasure to have you here today. You've been an absolute delight. I think it's a lot of fun. I do hope our tires are intact tomorrow evening, maybe about, I don't know what time.
Yeah.
Dave might.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's already dark, so
already dark.
I highly doubt it at this point.
Yeah.
you
So
know.
we'll see the state of our tires after this. So hey, thanks for coming and talking.
Thank you.
This episode of Sketchbook Podcast was recorded in Austin, Texas, and was edited and produced by me, Daniel Montoya Jr. Our logo is created by John Suh of Purpose Designs, and our music is provided by Epidemic Sound. If you enjoy Sketchbook, tell a friend about the show or share a link on social media. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review featured on a future episode. Got questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns? Email us at sketchbookpodcast@gmail.com. It too could be featured on a future episode. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SketchbookPod and join the Sketchbook community on Facebook at Sketchbook Podcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Sketchbook Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. Thanks for listening.